So speaking of vendors, while Chuck was off playing the brown note, basically.
Brown Falcon.
Sorry.
All open.
I was actually wheeling and dealing with a particular vendor. So Chuck went off and did this thing. I was like, dude, I'm going to be here for a little bit, so just come on back.
And I was like, I'll be gone for a bit.
So I was looking at this one guy who had a nice display case, and what caught my eye was he had TurboGrafx games. There were other people that had them, but this guy definitely had more than any of the other vendors. And the majority of the ones he had were in box, which is really unusual, definitely in my opinion. So I was checking out a few of them, and I saw, first of all, one that it's not super rare, but it's definitely one of the ones to get if you've got a TurboGrafx, and that would be Utopia. So obviously I bought it, but a little bit of story behind it. The thing on it that really caught my eye, his price was easily $20 under the going rate, because I've looked into buying this many times. I mean, Utopia, guys, for those of you not to know, is the Zelda of the TurboGrafx 16. It's more or less a Zelda clone, but I mean, it's 16-bit, it's definitely its own game. It doesn't completely copy Zelda. It's just kind of the same style of top-down, little guy hack and slash RPG. If you like that, you like this. And he was selling it for $29.99. And again, with the case, with the manual, even has the sleeve on the card. I mean, not complete in box, but I mean, look, that's pretty complete for a TurboGrafx game. I wasn't even gonna haggle him on that one, dude. I mean, I was like, dude, he's selling it for 20 under retail. Yeah, sold. So without showing my poker face on that one, just too much. He had another game there, and I'm gonna level with you guys. This was more or less my holy grail. Games. I've said a few times before, guys, I'm a big fan of the Bomberman series. Bomberman is my Mickey Mouse, dude. I absolutely love it. It's my favorite series to collect for. If for none other reason, something I realized recently, Bomberman is the only game series that I can collect on every single console that I own, even TurboGrafx. Everything that I've got over in the corner there, Nintendo 64, GameCube, Dreamcast, Saturn, Genesis, NES, Super NES, TurboGrafx, all of those, PlayStation, PlayStation 2, every single one of those has at least one Bomberman game. I challenge you to find another franchise that you can say that for, because you'll probably find one that has all of them, but the TurboGrafx. So to me, that's what really makes it special, other than the fact that I just love it. They're fun little games. The game that he had was Bomberman 93. Which I would say is probably in the top 5 rarest TurboGrafx 16 games ever made. Maybe number 4, behind things like Blanc 3, and there's another Work and Designs game in there, I think. And I've only seen this one for sale, I think, 3 times, like ever. Even on eBay, and believe me, I check for this really often. And every time I see it, it's either like just the loose hue card, or maybe it's just the manual or something like that. Like I've never seen one in a complete package. It's always like bits and pieces, and the price is always through the goddamn roof, because they're so hard to find. So this guy had it in the box with the manual, with the hue card, with the sleeve. Doesn't have the CD slipcase. That's disappointing, but his price, at face value, equitable. I was able to talk him down a little bit, so I basically made him take off $20 on it, since I was agreeing to buy Utopia too. I was like, if I take them both, can we work this out? And they went back and forth for a minute, and he finally agreed, and I got it. So it's pretty much all downhill from here as far as the Bomberman collection, because this is the rarest Bomberman game ever. Some of you might argue that the Saturn game is a little rarer. Okay. The Saturn game is probably equally expensive. That's right around the $100 mark as far as the value. But guys, I see the Saturn Bomberman on eBay all the time. I've seen this on eBay like 3 times. So as far as rarity, this has definitely got to be rare. So I am just absolutely elated to get this, man. I mean, if you ask Chuck, the smile on my face would not have been removed for at least 20 minutes after. I was giddy.
Yeah.
Just to actually see it, I was like, oh my god, they actually have it. As soon as
that was all we needed for the whole convention for him. As soon as he got that
sold.
He was done. He was just so happy.
Okay, so there was another vendor there who was selling, wasn't selling games, but like t-shirts, all kinds of little collectibles and things like that. And his specialty seemed to be Valve games. So he had like a lot of Half-Life stuff, Portal, Left 4 Dead, just a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Like he had the Bull Shifter shirt from Left 4 Dead 2. And he had one thing there that I've seen online, but I've never actually seen anyone selling it before. And that would be the first aid pack from Left 4 Dead. I mean, this isn't just something you hang on your wall, guys. This is actually
usable.
Yeah, it's a working mini backpack. And if you wear it using the straps, it basically goes on your body exactly the way that the characters wear it in Left 4 Dead. So it's like a one-to-one perfect replica of the actual kit. I was like, okay, I've got to have that. Like, if nothing else, this would make kick-ass cosplay. You know, because it's so easy to play a Left 4 Dead character because they look like regular people. So I thought this was really awesome. This is only about $30. And if nothing else, you know, this is going to look really cool just, you know, sitting on a shelf in a corner of the Retro Game Lounge. So, very awesome. So, final thoughts on Magfest?
Final thoughts. As my first one, it probably will not be my last. I had a good time.
I agree. I would go back.
I would definitely go back.
I mean, if nothing else, like, you pay $40 to get in, basically, and I think the arcade experience alone is worth that because you can play as much as you want. Like, you can go and play from open to close if you want and just kind of relive the glory days of the arcade. That alone to me would be worth $40 because there's no way in hell $40 worth of quarters wouldn't last you.
Right? Oh no way.
No way.
And there was a lot of events and stuff that we didn't have time to go to.
There's a lot of
there's a lot of panels
and things like that. I mean, these guys were rocking like,
concerts
all the way like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. They were doing panels. Like, this is
concerts.
Literally 4 days, all fucking day. I mean, all 4 days, all day. So, you know, we have jobs, we have to work and stuff like that, and we heard Saturday was going to be the biggest day anyway, and I would say it probably was. There was definitely a really good turnout there. So, we definitely had a good time, you know. Hopefully next year, maybe more vendors. That's really my only concern.
I know, and it's weird to say that. It's like more people selling shit, but no, at this place, I think it kind of needs a little bit.
Yeah, just more games.
More games.
I went there mainly as a collector and, you know, for the arcade experience and things like that. Like, I went there same as a lot of people, you know, go there. They're a collector of video games and video game related stuff, and they're there to, you know, maybe get some unique items that they wouldn't have a chance to buy otherwise. So, I mean, you know, luckily I did get some things that I wouldn't have a chance to buy otherwise, likely. So, you know, that's cool. It wasn't like a fucking fail or something. But,
right.
You know, I mean, it was cool. But just, you know, maybe next time more vendors. Well, I want to thank everyone so much for stopping by. We hope you've enjoyed this little tour of Magfest with us. We had a really good time. Just, you know, letting you guys in on this for those of you who weren't able to attend. If you are anywhere near the DC Metro, you know, vicinity and you want to attend, they hold it every January. So just check out magfest.org for information. They post this stuff months in advance, so you can see what's going on and check everything out. And I guess that about wraps up this episode of Retro Game Lounge. Well, as we always say on Retro Game Lounge, we're certainly not running out of games.
Or time to play them.
Thanks so much for stopping by, everyone, and we'll see you next time.